Hi guys, good afternoon. How you doing? So I'm currently working at work. My primary place of assignment. It's been I've been sending coming back. And apart from lecturing as an assistant lecturer that I do, I also run administrative duties. It's very interesting. I help in exam preparation. I'm an exam officer. Basically, I have to exam office able. So it's part of my CV, it's part of my experience. We have a place of assignment. Apart from lecturing students, I also do secretarial work. I'm currently printing exam questions because by the time you're saying they've done the exam, right? So, and just my experience so far, it has been wholesome. I feel like I'm learning, I'm learning how to work. I work among around people who are quite older than the government organization and people are more experienced older. But I still fit in some ways. I fit in when it comes to doing something that's tech related, online related. I see people come to me and I'm can you do this? I can do it. Even if I don't know how to do it. One thing about me is that outside I can do it. As long as I can do it, computer or desktop, I can do it. But the only thing I know I've said I can't do is printing. The printer is not working. I'm not an engineer. So I don't know how to do it, but aside that, I so I'm checking my sister will check the lens. So in case you see my eyes going up and down. But this is just I learned from people. I learned by watching. They were coming back said I was sending when I got here. Right now we're just two because they passed out. Said, and I'm glad I was closer to them. I learned from them. I saw how they were doing the job and doing the work. So it helps me to learn. I'm a fast learner. Unless I'm interested. Once I put my mind to it, I learn. So currently helping my boss next week. Today she has something. I've been helping in the office. Before I was protocol for my job. Yes. And I'm not only printing, I'm sorting questions and ensuring everything is packaged. Basic exam admin officer duty, right? Nostalgic. Nostalgic. Hold on, how is it nostalgic? Alright, so that's what this video is about. So, what should we talk about? I think we should talk about learning on the job kind of experience. Have you had an experience where got you got a job and you didn't know what it's all about, but you learned the job? Let me know in the comments. How did it go for you? Did you work out for it? How did you navigate? Because I feel all the job I have, I've got in my life, all the work experience I've had, there's nothing I know how to do before. I think the ones I'll have to get learning on the job. So all the jobs I've gotten so far, I learned on the job. Let me post this video like this. I learned on the job, right? I learned my working experience has been very crazy. Then working in I think I started working in 2016. My first job was actually in that. I actually worked as for 2 days. That was a contract job. I wasn't working as an assistant for it was a labor work for the school, head of school. She was pregnant at the time. She was there for maternity leave. So she wanted to sort things out and pursue things. So that was what I did. I helped her for those 2 days to settle, arrange, organize, and all of those things. So of my internship. The second job was like more of an internship. This video is getting too long. I'm going to cut it at first. It was more of an internship where I I worked in a pharmacy. Shout out to Showcase Pharmacy in Abuja. I worked in a pharmacy and I was in a 200 level as a pharmacology student at the time. So I know if you study pharmacology, you will know that for 200 level you have not studied pharmacology. So I didn't even have many knowledge of drugs like that. But I did took me in, and I'm grateful for that space. So the standard space. That's one thing I like that the pharmacy is standard. Like usually anytime I want to do make sure that when I work in the pharmacy, the standard pharmacy, do this, do this. Alright, so can I rearrange this thing so that okay, I think it's better now. Okay, I'm starting like okay, so I thought about the fun. Trying to block that like I learned with pharmacists and nurses. I usually work twice a week because they already have their stuff. They didn't really need me. But I find my way, came back and asked for space and pharmacist, the superintendent pharmacist, so like they can be coming these days, right? So they're coming for Saturdays and Sundays. On Saturdays I work with pharmacists. And on Sunday I work with a nurse and it was so sorry I learned it, but I was embarrassed many times because I don't know drugs. People who come to pharmacy like, who got the sales there? Why are you using sales there to do this thing? But I took everything. I'm like, I don't know it now. I always say that. And that's really taught me a lot. I believe my confidence. Now there's a building confidence because I started talking to people there. I remember, shout out to the pharmacist I worked with from Benita, from the celebrity pharmacy, from Oiza, then the nurse. I remember all of them. They know that this shy girl, she feels like she's not ready because she's not that experienced yet. So they pushed me forward. They pushed me. I remember from uni, would be like, you're going to go to the next, you're going to go to the next customer, ask them direct them, what do you want, how to find out. So I learned on the job, right? I'm just trying to share my experience of jobs I've done. After that, I had an experience that was related to my boss, right? The other experience that even exposed me to that world, that space, is during that experience, I worked in an NGO where I served as a graphic designer, social media manager, research assistant, everything together. That exposed me to the world of social media and media basically. Writing, I started writing, started management, social media management, I did a little of accounting. It was interesting. I went out to people. That was what I would ever be grateful for to my boss. Mrs. Princess, she would tell me someone who is already experienced to go out with them and I learned how to dress. I remember there was a day we went to go out. I didn't know we would go out because when you get to work, you know you are going out. And I was dressing that like that was like I would never come out without dressing well again, right? So I did I learned how to get to the public like spark conversations, start conversations, all these things I didn't know how to do before. So it was working that got me that experience, right? After that I started working remotely. I think those were my first two jobs. I remember from school internship in school was science and politics and science IT, where I worked in hospitals. Then started working remotely. After since then, this is my first. Okay, after graduation, I worked in school. I worked as a teacher. That was my first time teaching, and I give it to myself. I give it to myself. I did well. I got my heart like teaching is my core. So that was when I discovered. I didn't discover then. I discovered it now that I'm 7 that teaching is something that comes to me naturally, right? while I was still in the school, I would the only stress I had was the stress of other things, managing students, ensuring that they settle paper jam in the course, ensuring that they settle down, don't make noise, and those children were so rats for me. They were so rats for my life. But I learned my job. I learned my own text that I don't beat, right? I don't beat. I didn't beat. No, I didn't beat. I never beat. I would just punch. I would hold pain because if they don't see that thing, they will not, they will not do normal. But I didn't do it. Not like I held pain like that, like that. I think I'm proud of that. I didn't do it right, so it was interesting. But the teaching part was not an issue for me. I had different public speaking techniques that gathered. I really don't. I got fishes. I didn't study fishes in school. That's another board, number one board. Intellectual. That's how I just read and I said I am a first class graduate. If I read it, I will know it. But not because I'm a person, but I feel like it's part of it, right? So I taught them what I did study in school and I taught them well. I would even bring instructional materials, use my phone to just show them what I'm teaching them. But I'm also learning. I feel like if I can watch videos to learn this thing better, then the students will also get it better by watching, right? So that was I didn't know. Of course, I knew. I feel like I knew, but I wanted to come to service to actually work in a university. But I wanted to work in the lab. As they'll come and meet me in the lab, I'll teach them ecology in the lab. My experience with teaching in secondary school gave me a footing when I got to my primary place of assignment, and then I get to lecture. Funny thing, primary place of assignment, they don't do proper lecturing like that. They do, but they just give corpers roles like this, doing this and all other linear jobs. I'm like, I can't come here. I've come too far. Right? So, before I even put my mouth, you see, the environment was already like what was already in my heart, my desire. The environment was the energy that I released by the grace of God and the mercy of God. The environment I liked. All how I got my lecturing role, and then it was a professional experience. I loved that because my first feedback was on the fact that I was too fast for them. I was teaching the lowest grade class, not like lowest grade, lowest class, the nursing student, year one student. So I was mentioning people this. Like I had some feedback, they were like, I like the way you explained, but you're too fast, ma. Don't call the big names. Like you're calling the big names. Help us to explain it, and it has been wholesome. I enjoy my lecturing. I love the fact that I was able to impact them, to teach, and the feedback I got, like she knows what she's teaching. That's what I enjoy most. That's if I know it already. If they ask a question I don't know, I'm like, let's check it. I don't know. Let's check it. But the fact that I can explain any complex thing to them in my field is the joy, right? So that has been my experience so far in workspace. I do from the job that I did mention. This one is just my physical workspace. So let me know in the comments which work have you done, what are your experiences? Are they related to what you studied in your school, or you just hanging there? Let me know in the comments. The remote jobs I've done, they are not related to what I studied in school. So that you make you feel better. I want to know from you. I want to hear from you in the comments. Let me know. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.